Well, hello there, y'all. Love After Lockup, Season 6, Episode 19. DNA all the way, Mike and Justine. Let's get into it, shall we? Oh, yes, we shall. A sweet old auntie. Thank you, subscribers, and my nieces and nephews, and all of y'all who have been here through the long haul. Shall we get into it? Oh, yes, we shall. It's time for Auntie Advice. Sweet old. It's time for Auntie Advice. Oh, yeah. It's time for Auntie Welcome back, everybody. This is Auntie. Thank you so much for joining me for this review. Of course, I am going to be breaking it down again this week, y'all, because we got so much to talk about, and the video will be 4 hours long. Let's get into Mike and Justine's story, shall we? Oh, yes, we shall. So it is the day after Mike and Justine had a little tiff downtown to the restaurant. And no, it's the same day. And so Mike goes out of the building. He tells Justine after she told him that she would pay for the things that she's responsible for. Mike is like, wait a minute, what does that mean? How does that happen? Right. And so as a result of it, Mike tells her, pay the check. That's what you pay, and walks out. Now, Mike is now telling us that there's some things that he has been keeping from Justine, right? And and Justine, is just sitting at the table, unbeknownst to her, that she has been asking for this $60,000 wedding for Mike, and Mike is just purely broke. So, or at least it appears that Mike is. And he has some secrets and some things that he has not discussed with Justine. It was said in this episode where Mike said that if he does not give Justine the lavish life, that she is going to leave him. That is a lot of pressure that is falling on Mike, right? And it just is what it is. He married this chick, and he got out of prison and had a little bit of money, and I guess had the personality or the wherewithal to try to get more money. And so she is thinking that because her and Mike have all of these businesses and stuff, that they sitting on easy street and they got a whole lot of paper. And it doesn't appear that Michael has a whole bunch of paper other than notes that's coming to the house, or emails that are being sent to him, or text messages, okay, from bill collectors. But anyway, Mike is outside and he is kind of disclosing that information to us. And then Justine comes out of the restaurant and wants to have a conversation, right? Hold on, let me bring their pictures up. Hi, everybody. Welcome. I just got right into it, didn't I? Oh, my goodness. That's because we got a couple of these we got to be going through. Okay, let me pull them up on this screen. So anyway, Justine goes outside and, she wants to know, why Mike is acting like this, what then happened, what then went down and all that kind of stuff, right? And so she's at the impression and at the assumption that, Mike got some stuff that's going on that he is not discussing with her. And of course, Mike doesn't want to talk about it. So, they go back. Next day, we see Mike get up, and honey, his hair is a mess. That head is a mess. You hear me? Kind of like mine up underneath here, right? I gotta go and get it braided tomorrow. But anyway, I digress. And so Mike is, up, and he is, basically talking about how he feels like he need to be hustling again. He need to be out there in the street. If he was still doing the crimes and stuff like that he was doing before he met Justine, and those that career path that landed him in jail all that time, and away from his kids, away from his wife, he is really considering, right, on this show. And I know it's some bull crap, but we're going to go along with the storyline, because if this is what they want to feed us, then okay. So anyway, Mike is talking about, possibly going back into a life of crime, and how he wouldn't be having these financial problems if it wasn't for him living a clean life, I guess you want to say, if that's what you want to call it. But here's the thing. All you gotta do is back your woman up. First of all, y'all decide amongst each other to have 9 kids. What the did you think was going to happen? I mean, y'all let me know down in the comment section. What did they think that was going to happen? And when you sitting up here buying a house that you probably can't afford because you didn't put the down payment on it, your mother did allegedly. Allegedly, Justine is using her mom's credit to be up in them. Okay, so you didn't even qualify for the house allegedly that the two of you all are living in. So how did you think that you was going to be able to manage having 9 kids, 2 of them that are going to college, right? And then you got these other little ones that's up underneath. And then you just sat up there in the last 2 years and had 2 babies. Like, what are we talking about here? Like, this is so stupid of Mike. You're not offering Justine a lavish life. You offering her an artificial fake life. But anyway, so he's sitting there contemplating that Justine mother comes in to the room and everything because the two of them are going to go and see a Broadway show, and then they're going to leave the Broadway show, and Miss Shuri or whatever her name is, child, she's going to go on back. If y'all haven't seen my video of her, child, y'all make sure y'all check that out, right? I'm sure it's a lot of us reporting on it. And as I said, when I first saw it, it was on Lord Lunkins Instagram page, and so shout out to him. He finally got his name downtown to the sarcasm, and I'm so proud of him, because one thing about Lord Lunkin is he is not changed. He is consistently funny, and shout out to him. Okay, anyway, for breaking that news story or being the first one to report on it. You better go, boy. You better work that thing out. Okay, you got to, you got to. Anyway, so make sure that you check out that video. I'll try and connect it to this video if I can, if I remember to do it, because usually when I get a ball for here, I'll be ready to go to bed. Okay. So anyway, y'all, we go, we go and the child is having dinner with her mother, right, before her mother leave out. And I took some notes because I really wanted to read what the dialogue was between Justine and her mother. Justine's mother doesn't understand why Justine has abandonment issues for somebody who won't in her life. Isn't that what abandonment is? Like, I couldn't understand the mother, and I couldn't understand the way the mother was thinking and everything. Now, one of the things that I do want to say is that Justine has always blamed the way that she is, the way that she feels on her mother. And while we was watching it live, that just like really hit me, because I'm thinking to myself, how are you blaming this all on your mother, right? And then this week she blamed it on her father not being there. Justine tells a story about, her father not really being in her life and stuff like that, and how this has affected her. And, she was basically saying that she was a window baby. She said she recollected a story that when she was 16 years old, she was like, girls be having their 16th birthday party and stuff like that, and they want to have like a dance with their father. She's always lived in the fantasy world, if you ask me. But anyway, she, said that her father was there and all her friends was around, and she just knew she was going to be dancing with her daddy. And next thing you know, she turned around and her daddy is up out of that camp. So she decides that, she's going to lay that on her mother and everything, and they going to have a conversation about it. So hold on, let me go to my little notes. Because I had to pull this up. So Justine said to her mother, she said, I wanted to have a wedding, right? And I didn't want to plan my wedding without you being there. She said, I almost ain't call you here. So the mother was like, okay, so you weren't going to call me to New York. Did you think I was going to say no? Or, like, why would you even do something like that, right? Why would you even think that? Why would you even do it? Nick that patter and give a duck about. And so she was like, I was just hoping that we could just be better, because I wasn't even contemplating if I was even going to ask you to come to New York. The mother was like, well, did you think I would say no? And so Justine was like, sometimes it's a toss up. I don't know how things are going to go, and I don't want things to go bad. And the mother was like, yeah, but your biggest problem, Justine, is since you turned 12, maybe 13, you just rebelled. She said, and Justine was like, I know. And you had so much anger in you that you just wanted to do whatever you wanted to do, whether it was right or wrong. And that's how we ended up butting heads. And usually that is how you butt heads with your parents when you make a decision that you want to live your life and do the things that you want to, and you ain't nothing but a teenager. And here it is, you depended on me to make sure that you got toilet paper to wipe your you know what, and you think that you're going to be bucking up in somebody's face. You're sadly mistaken, sweetheart. You're sadly mistaken if you think that you're going to be living up in somebody's household and you a child and you're going to be acting like an adult. Like, ain't nobody got time for that bull crap. And then you gonna sit up there and bring all these kids up in the house and then marry some guy that you talking about something, Justine is just stupid in my opinion. She gonna sit up there and marry this man, had these babies by this dude, and talk about she wore a black dress to the wedding. Girl, that's probably because you was eloping somewhere down in the club. Girl, ain't nobody got time for that old bull crap. So, and the mother was like, that's how we ended up butting heads. And so Justine was like, I know that. And she said, and that's where it comes from. But it's clear that that your dad wasn't solid, right? And she said, you blame me to some degree for your father. There's only so many things that I can tell you. I mean, I had what I think it was 2 weeks later, he took off into the Navy. That was it. The relationship with your father growing up was I saw my dad a couple of times. The last time we seen each other just a few years ago, he left off on such terms. And my kids, before they became part of Mike's family, didn't have a grandfather. There's a whole lot of kids out here that ain't got no grandfather. But what this got to do with your money? I mean, your mother. This don't have nothing to do with your mother. This is a decision that a grown man who is supposed to be your biological father decided he wanted to abandon you. It's a whole lot of men and women who abandon their kids, but the parent that is there is not the one who is to blame for the situation. Well, he didn't dance with my father like on Luther Vandross, okay? Dance with my father again. That had nothing to do with your mother. She probably didn't even know the mother was going to leave up out of there like that. And this is something that you holding and you blaming your mother for. Like, girl, get the out of here. And so she said, for some reason I be having these weird flashes of things that I remember. Like I remember he walked out on my birthday, right? And so, like, what does that have to do with the mother? She said when she told her friends, yeah, that's my father, I turned my back and he was gone. He left the property gone. And I'm just glad I have this family and these kids and this amazing husband and this beautiful life that we built. But hey, how about you don't have this beautiful life that you done built? And how about kids ain't a replacement for hurt and trauma that's going on in your life? You can't use your children and have all these children and think that that's going to be a replacement for what goes on in your life. So Justine goes on and says, I feel like something for sure is always missing with me. I think his absence is the reason why the relationship kind of has been messy with you. And the mother was like, but it's not because of you. It's because of, no, Justine said it's not because of you. It's because of his absence that affected me. But the mother was like, but he made those choices a long, long time ago. There were times he was going to pick you up and I have you all dressed up. You'd be sitting on the couch and behold, he'd never show up. And so that's when Justine was like, I'm a couch kid. And the sad thing about it is I done raised a couple of couch kids myself. So you following in the same exact thing and the same exact pattern as your mother is because you had kids who were birthed through a previous relationship. And what kind of relationship they got with that man? And that man's family, do they got grandparents on that side of the family? Do you ever think about that? Girl, get up out of here. So the mother said the only thing that confuses me about the whole thing is when you grew up with something right from day one that he's not in the picture, how do you end up with abandonment issues? Mom, she ends up with abandonment issues because her father abandoned her. That's how she got abandonment issues. It wasn't like she didn't grow up at all with the father, right? Like she never ever knew who her father was. She did have some recollection of who the man was and who the man was supposed to be, and he didn't show up. So, Mom, that's how she got abandonment issues. Okay. So the mom says she thinks that the relationship is starting to get better, but she thinks there's a lot of work that still needs to be done. But she says she's seen a lot of growth in Justine and she loves her. And so Justine was like, so maybe you could come to Vegas more, because I want you to know the kids. She said, it's obvious that you know them, but you don't know them like Mike mother who living up in the house, basically is what she was saying. So I'm just like, what in the world is going on? In the meantime and in between time, Mike is downtown to the hotel calling his mama who living up in the house with him. Doesn't look like she gainfully employed at all, okay? And she living up in the house and Mike is calling her and asking her to give him $1,000. And the mother was like, you need $1,000? And he was like, yeah, I'll give it to you back once I get home. So I'm confused. If you gonna have it when she get home, why you ain't got it now? Like like that confused me about Mike. Mike is playing games. I think that this is part of their storyline and some adage that they done put on here. Mike don't have any desire to live a life of being a criminal. Mike is soft. He probably was soft in the jail and he's soft up out of there. He like Charmin tissue. He like a Scotty tissue for the wintertime with aloe vera lotion and weaved into the fabric of the tissue. He is soft like a cotton ball. He this Mike. He's a cotton ball. Justine is just plucking off of him. Just plucking and pulling and yanking and everything else, honey. And when she finished with him, she throw him away. This man ain't got no daggone business and no reason and no desire to be no thug. Mike ain't never been no thug, and you ain't gonna tell me that motherfucker been a thug, okay? He told the mother to send the daggone money to the cash app. And then gonna sit up there and tell me when he was in the streets, he didn't have to worry about money. It was never an issue. And now he's thinking about formulating the way. The only way to please everyone is to go back to that lifestyle, and acquiring those things isn't hard at all. Motherfucker, please, please. Ain't nobody got time for this book story that we are being fed out here. And Justine gonna leave what? And who gonna take care of Justine with all them kids? Even if she don't take Mike's kids with her, who wants Justine with all them daggone kids? And then she done got her little tubes and all of that stuff tied, yanked, and snatched up out of her. You understand what I'm saying? Like a lot of women do. But guess what? She can't even go to no man that wants to be with a woman that is going to be able to give him kids. And they say, your value go away. Now, I don't know nothing about that because I always kept my value, whether or not I was giving you a baby or not. Okay. Trust and believe me, that's what I was doing. Okay. I'm just like, you know what? Mm-mm. Mm-mm. Thank you so much, Brittany Scott, for the 199 super chat. Loving you as usual. Happy to catch you. Thank you, boo. Make sure you got your notification bells on because I'm getting ready to come back with all of our stuff, honey, before I go to bed tonight. Okay. Thank you so much. Ray Della said, thank you so much for supporting the channel, Brittany. Okay. She can't even do, I'm five. She can't even give a baby. She don't even have that now. That's all gone. That's all gone. And Mike don't have that type of relationship with Justine where Justine gonna walk out on Mike for what? You can look at Justine and the way she look up in that man's eyes and drop her head all low and act all stupid and stuff like that. That girl is head over heels in love with him. And if he go broke, she going broke with him. And so is all of them kids, including Maximilian or whatever his daggone name. His name gonna be Max a dollar. Okay, $1.50 up in that camp. Anyway, y'all let me know downtown in the comment section whether or not y'all believe this dumb storyline or whether or not y'all think that this is just some bull to keep their was on television. Anyway, thank you so much, Brittany Scott, for the 199 super chat. And y'all be safe until I see y'all again. All right, then, y'all. Bye.